Right now, millions of Americans, especially here in the United States, are starting to feel anxious, and for good reason. In today's video, we'll break down exactly why this growing concern is spreading, from tech warnings to global trade tension. Let's start with the big news. Former President Donald Trump is calling out China, claiming they're not honoring their commitments. In response, he has doubled the tariffs on steel and aluminum from 25% to a staggering 50%. China, on the other hand, insists they haven't broken any agreements. But here's the problem. The trade deal between the US and China hasn't even been finalized yet. That's part of the reason so many people are on edge. But that's not all. Apple recently issued a strong message to all users. Update to iOS 18.5 immediately. They didn't give much detail, but the urgency has raised eyebrows. Some believe it's just a regular update. Others think it might be related to potential cybersecurity threats. Then there's a new report causing concern. Kill switches may be embedded in Chinese-manufactured solar panels. Yes, you heard that right, components that could potentially be shut off remotely, cutting power to your home. Congress has been warning about these threats for years. In fact, there have been calls to replace Chinese-made cranes at major US ports, from Los Angeles to the East Coast, over fears they could be remotely accessed. So why is this all so alarming? Because it's becoming increasingly clear, China may have deeper influence and integration within the United States than we previously understood. Now, before we go any further, all I ask is this: if you appreciate these honest, daily updates, go ahead and tap that like button. It really helps more people get informed. Let's dive deeper. Should you panic? Maybe not. But should you be cautious? Absolutely. There are growing claims that China is deeply embedded in US infrastructure, not just in terms of goods, but potentially in our power grid, transportation systems, and even financial networks. So far, nothing major has been disrupted. But it's the possibility that has everyone concerned. As tensions rise, China continues to deny any wrongdoing, claiming they're being unfairly targeted. But former President Trump is pushing back hard with aggressive tariff hikes, aiming to make the US less reliant on Chinese imports. Let's not forget, the US imports millions of products from China. We rely on Chinese factories to manufacture everything from smartphones to everyday household items. In fact, the device you're watching this on likely contains parts made in China. But Apple's sudden push to install the latest iOS update is making people wonder, is there a deeper reason? Could it be a preemptive move to block a potential breach or hidden vulnerability? We don't know for sure. But the possibility of a cyber attack or tech-related disruption is very real. That's why even US banks are getting more cautious, slowing down credit approvals and limiting new lines of credit. They're trying to reduce exposure to fraud, especially as more people shop online through Chinese marketplaces like Temu, Shine, and TikTok Shop. And remember, never use a debit card for online purchases. Always use a credit card, which offers more protection in case of fraud or scams. This is especially important now, as online scams are becoming harder to spot and more convincing than ever. Here's one example. Scammers impersonate court officials, claiming you've missed a court date, but for a fee, they can make it disappear. People fall for it. They send $50, $100, and don't realize they've been scammed until it's too late. It's a dangerous climate, and one of the key reasons people are uneasy. We've heard for decades that China may have embedded access to our systems, not just online, but in physical infrastructure too. From road sensors and cameras to internet providers and financial platforms, hackers only need minutes to extract sensitive data. And according to reports, the majority of these attacks come from Chinese or Russian hackers. A new warning this morning mentioned kill switches inside solar panels, and if true, this could put millions of homes at risk, especially those relying solely on solar energy. Think about it. If your only power source is solar and that system gets remotely shut down, you're in trouble. The truth is, we use Chinese products in every part of life. That's not inherently bad. But when global tensions rise and security concerns mount, it's no longer just about trade, it's about safety. Even the US Pentagon recently issued a statement saying it is prepared to defend against any hostile actions from China. No one is saying an actual war is imminent, but a digital or trade war. That's already underway, and it could escalate fast. Tariffs are just one tool. But cyber warfare, infrastructure sabotage, or financial disruption could be next. So should you panic? Not yet. But you should absolutely stay alert, stay informed, and protect yourself, especially online. That's the update for today. As always, I'll continue tracking these developments and bring you the latest as it happens. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there.